Hello traders, welcome to Zio Traders. So today we'll be analyzing EURGBP, right? So before we take a look at the technicals, let's quickly take a look at the fundamental perspective. On 6th of June, Eurozone GDP report was sent, and as you can see right here, so this report it says that for the YOY year over year, it actually came out positive, higher than the previous and higher than the expected or the forecast, right? So and if you look at the first quarter of 2025, it came out also positive, high above the forecast. This is actually very good for euro because it will strengthen euro, right? Because what this signals is that the economy is doing very well. That is it. The economy is doing very well. So eurozone is very good currently if we are looking at their GDP, right? So looking at the interest rate, right? So European Central Bank they cut interest rates, right? So as you can see right here, this was the forecast. This was the previous of their previous interest rate, and as you can see right here, they have actually cut interest rate. This is for euro. It's actually negative, right? It's going to negatively affect euro because euro as a currency is now less attractive for investors, right? They are not going to be getting much more return on their investment unlike before, right? So this is negative for the currency. Now if you look at the CPI, right? So the CPI came out negative. um so the inflation currently is below their set target. Anyways, it's not very good for the currency, and also it's not that bad. It's only bad for the currency, meaning when I say it's bad, it means that it's actually going to weaken the currency, right? So, well, because there's actually no uh, form of inflation currently. In fact, it's even below their target, so they have to even try and make sure that it goes high a bit, right? So currently we see all that is happening, and eurozone overall is actually very strong currently using their GDP as a parameter, right? So if you look at GBP in the other hand, GDP is actually very good as well, right? So it grew by 0.7% in the first quarter of 2025, right? And CPI came out positive, right? And that's about plus 3.5% above the forecast, and is above their the what they want, the level where they want inflation to be at. So right now, since CPI is high, inflation is high, most probably there is even more likelihood of Bank of England in hiking interest rate, and if they hike interest rate, is going to be good for the currency, which is GBP. However, currently there is no such thing as interest rate hike, or right, but then there is more expectation for interest rate hike compared to that of eurozone, right? And then as for their interest rate, they didn't cut interest rate, so it means that GBP itself is also very strong currently, right? So from what we see on the weekly time frame, there's a break of structure bullish, and market has successfully retraced back to this order block, and right now we are seeing a level of expansion to the upside, right? So let's get to the daily time frame. So from what we see on the daily time frame, there was a break of structure bearish, and price got to the weekly time frame order block, and from here we can see a change of character bullish. And where are we currently? We are at this very point. So from this level, right? So although we are overall bullish, but personally, I would love to see that price comes lower and then like this, and then it continues bullish. However, price could still continue because GBP currently, right? I mean currently in the short term, GBP is actually very weak because the recent GDP report that was sent for MOM, which is in June, it came out negative. That is negative for GDP. So in the short term, GDP is very weak. So and however, the CPI is going to come out in few minutes, and if the CPI comes out positive, then we are going to see this retracement happen. However, if the CPI doesn't, then we are going to see price continue flying up from this point, right? So let's just watch out. Whatever happens, guys, is this is trading for you. So whatever happens, you just follow whatever the market does. That's it. But this is my expectation. If GBP CPI comes out positive, then I'm going to see a level of retracement to the downside before a continuation, right? Yeah, but then if it doesn't happen, then we could actually potentially start seeing buys from it. That is what I'm looking at, guys. Thank you very much for watching. God bless you.